Today we're gonna make delicious gluten-free muffins that are also refined sugar-free and made with very simple ingredients. These are my daughter Lola's favorite muffins, and they're loaded with nutrients with raspberries, dark chocolate, and bananas for sweetener. And we're gonna use oats, and that's it for our flour today. So if you're gluten-free, make sure you get gluten-free oats. I also like to get organic, but you do you. And we're gonna start off with 1.5 cups of old-fashioned oats, and we're just gonna blend them. I'm gonna show you how to make oat flour, which could not be easier. All you need is a blender. All right, let's get that. All right, you do not need a fancy blender for this. You can use any blender you have. I'm sure you could also use a food processor. I'm just gonna put my oats into the blender. I like this one because it's smaller. Ooh. Put this on, and that is how it all starts. So I'm gonna pulse this. It's probably gonna take 20 to 30 seconds, I would say, but it's gonna depend on your blender. It's already pretty good. I'm gonna give it one last little bit. And that, my loves, is how you make oat flour. It's so easy. Now, you can see that there's like little imperfections in there. That's fine. It's just gonna add to the whole experience. We're also using a full cup of oats, so it's fine if there's little textures. Okay, so next we want to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. You're gonna wanna line two muffin tins with either parchment paper or silicone liners. That's what I use. They do drive me nuts, but I like that I can use them again and again and again. If you have any tips on how to clean them, I'm open to it. Let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna get our ingredients together, and we are gonna put these muffins together. They are so quick and so easy and so decadent and delicious. You need a medium-sized mixing bowl. I am using 3 bananas today. You're going for about 1.5 cups of bananas. You want them to be super ripe. These ones are just like falling apart. They're so ready to be used for these muffins. And we're just gonna mash those up. The bananas are essentially going to be our sweetener for this recipe, so you do want to make sure that they are nice and ripe. And I like to make sure that they're pretty mushed up, just with a few little chunks. But my kids don't really love giant chunks of banana, so I squish them up good. To this, we are going to add 2 eggs. These are local from our neighbors, so that's always a bonus. half a cup of cashew milk. You can use any milk you like. I just happen to love cashew milk, but anything will do. Just mixing it in. I love this recipe because you can switch it up with kind of anything you like. You can add shredded carrots and dried fruit and nuts. I am going nut-free because these are for my kids' school lunches. Oh, hang in there, fork. All right, let's mix together the dry ingredients. We're gonna use our 1.5 cups of oat flour that we just made. Like, we're so amazing. And we're gonna use a cup of old-fashioned oats. In my little tray of amazingness here, I have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon or so of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You can also add in grated ginger or, you know, whatever flavors you really love. It's all kind of works in here. I'm just kind of keeping it simple today. All right, that's that. So now we're just gonna try not to lose our fork into our wet ingredients. Mix these together. I remember making muffins with my mom when I was a kid, and she would always be like, "Don't overmix them." So that's what I think every time I make muffins now. Oh gosh, don't overmix it, Gwen. Probably do every time. All right, at this stage, I'm gonna add in 1/2 cup of, these are dark chocolate chunks, about 80%. You can use whatever chocolate chips you like. You can substitute this out for anything you like. Maybe you want raisins, cranberries, whatever, you do you. My kids love the addition of chocolate. I mean, if I put chocolate in almost anything, they're gonna be like, it doesn't matter how healthy everything is. They're like, well, this is a treat. So I go with it. And I have about 1 cup of frozen raspberries. This is optional. I often make this just banana chocolate chip, but there is something really amazing about raspberries that hopefully are from your own garden in the summer, and you froze them and they just taste like happiness. I do recommend, if you are using raspberries, to use frozen ones. Otherwise, they'll just turn into a mush when you mix it together. And we just want to fold this in. Don't want to overmix it. Okay, and that is that. Now we're just going to spoon these into our muffin cups, which is always a messy job. So here we go. It's gonna be a good time. These are not gonna be like your average sort of light and fluffy, more cupcake style muffin. These are gonna be a little bit more dense, but because they're nutrient dense and all the ingredients are good for you, even the dark chocolate, superfood, hello. And so when we are switching over to trying to do a little bit more healthy baking, there is a little bit of a transition period. I know it can be a little bit tricky, especially for our littles, but these have honestly become Lola's favorite muffin that we make. And I love it because they're so healthy. You can serve them for breakfast if you need to, or after school snack, or if you don't put any nuts in them, you can send them to school. And no, this is the perfect little recess snack for your kiddos. Or for me, come on, for me. This recipe usually makes like 13 muffins, depending on how many raspberries I put in. You know what? Today we're gonna do 12, and I'm just gonna divvy this out. Feels like a baking miracle when I don't have to add in the other baking sheet with one muffin on it. So hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. We're gonna put these in the oven for about 25-ish minutes. It's going to depend a little bit on how big your bananas were. I usually say we're looking for about 1.5 cups, but honestly, there's a lot of leeway with that. So you just want to test your muffins a little bit as you go along. Maybe check them once at about 20 minutes. All right, I'm gonna clean up. All right, these are smelling so good. Our house smells like happiness. They are 1,000,000 degrees and way too hot to eat. So what you wanna do is let them cool. I do like to take them out of the cookie sheet. I call everything a cookie sheet. The muffin tin. And as soon as they're cool enough, I remove this bottom thing. If you're using parchment paper, of course you can leave it on and let them cool on a cooling rack. Otherwise, you get to dig in and you won't be disappointed. But for today, we're just gonna look at them happily, and I hope you try them because your house will smell amazing and your belly will be so happy and your kids will love them. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen today.